Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. Today we're going to be talking about the tragic breaking news that the political commentator Charlie Kirk was shot. Let's get right into it. Right now, reports are coming in all over the media that the political commentator Charlie Kirk, who's closely associated with Donald Trump, was apparently shot at an event that he was hosting in Utah. It's being reported that he was on a college campus where out of nowhere shots were fired from a building close by. And from what I'm being told, Charlie Kirk was actually struck in the neck. This is what the media is reporting now. Turning Point USA co-founder Charlie Kirk was shot at a Utah Valley University event on Wednesday. The 31-year-old's condition is unknown as of Wednesday afternoon. A single shot was heard at the Orem, Utah campus as Kirk began speaking at his rally. This is extremely tragic news. While I'm not a big fan of politics at all, you guys know that I stay away from politics completely. I still think it's horrible when anyone gets hurt, especially in a matter like this. You know, a violent situation like this in front of so many people. Not only is it a tragedy for Charlie Kirk and his family to go through, but all the people that were there that had to see this. This is truly horrible, and it's so sad that this is what the country's coming to. The signs are all there. We already know why all this keeps happening, and this is one of the main problems with division. This is why they create division amongst the people, because it leads to radical situations like this, where some people take things into their own hands and do crimes like this that not only affect the person they're doing the crime to, but also everyone else there that had to witness that. I actually spoke about Charlie Kirk a few months ago when Donald Trump ordered him to stop talking about the Epstein files, but what is being reported now is that they have a suspect in custody, and they're also reporting that there was no security available at the event, which made it kind of easy for this man to show up there and commit this crime in broad daylight in front of all these people. One of the strange coincidences that I noticed during the video that's circulating of the incident, right as Charlie Kirk said the word violence, the shooter let off shots.
Not counting gang violence. Great. Counting gang violence. Great.
That to me was extremely suspicious and strange. It almost was like on cue. And we know how some of these situations are not what they seem. I'm not saying that's the case here, but that was something that I noticed that just caught me off guard and I found extremely suspicious, as right when he said the word, the situation happened. Now, this situation might be reminding a lot of people of the situation that happened last year with Donald Trump when at one of his speeches, he was quote-unquote ambushed by a shooter who was also in a nearby building. And that whole situation had America divided as well, as people didn't know if this was a stage incident, a real incident. We still don't know to this day. You know, I have my thoughts on it. I've said it before on Patreon. But realistically, this situation, when I saw that, it kind of raised some red flags to me. I'm not saying this is not real or staged or whatever, because from what we can see, he clearly appears to be severely injured. And the reports are right now is that we don't have an exact update on his condition, whether he's okay, if he's going to make it, if he's in critical condition. We have no idea. It is just being reported that he was hit, and after he was hit, his body just went limp. So we should honestly be praying for Charlie Kirk. We don't want no one to be hurt. We need to hope that he recovers. In the video, they seem to show the police arresting someone. It could be the possible suspect. He looks like an older white man. Who knows though? You know, he could have just been someone that the police suspected. It might not be the actual man, but as of right now, what's being reported is that Charlie Kirk was giving this speech. He was at a university in Utah, and while he was talking and he said the word violence, that's when the exact shots rang out. They're saying it was only one shot. Now, we have to understand that in the last few months, our country has been truly dividing even more than it's ever been before. This is one of the things why I speak against politics, because I believe politics have been utilized just for that purpose, to create division amongst the people. Because if we're honest with each other, these politicians, they all know each other, they all hang out, they're all cool with each other, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, but they have us believe that they're in this all-out war for who's going to run this country, when in reality, the same people are going to be running the country whether the Democrats win or the Republican win. It's the people with the real power, with the real money, who controls these banks, who controls the wealth of this country, and they're the ones who control how this country operates, not necessarily the face that they put in the White House to make us believe these are the people that are running things. Because the ones that are running this country, we can't really vote for. But as we can see, all of this division leads to things like this, like violence, unnecessary, unprovoked violence, because honestly, Charlie Kirk can say whatever he says, and whether you agree or disagree, it shouldn't validate a reason for him to be injured, specifically in a matter like this, in the public eye, in the public view, in front of all his fans that just so happen to be younger people that are now going to be scarred for the rest of their lives. I might go deeper into this on Patreon because like we already know on YouTube, there isn't much that we can say without us being censored. But realistically, this is a horrible situation. And again, the division that we're creating, it's only causing situations like this to happen. There is no good to this. For those that are not familiar with Charlie Kirk's content, he's very pro-Trump and he's credited with helping Trump's movement, especially when it comes to Gen Z and the younger generations. He's the one that really, what they call, mobilized them to vote for Trump and, to pick a political side. He also had a relationship with Candace Owens. They used to do a podcast together, if I'm not mistaken. They were on the same show together at one point before Candace left. So he's in that political space, what they would normally call right-wing, conservative, all that nonsense. It's just labels to divide people in reality. He definitely is on Trump's side. He's definitely one of the people that has been supporting Trump heavily. And I know even with my subscribers, there's a division there with people that love Trump, people that don't believe in Trump, all this stuff. But in reality, what matters is that things like this shouldn't be happening in our country. Things like this are showing us just what kind of times we're in, where a person can't even go and say what he wants to say, whether it's politically motivated or orchestrated, whatever you want to call. This shouldn't be allowed in our country. People shouldn't be getting hurt like this. I'm seeing some new updates now. One is that the actual person that they arrested is now being reported that he is not the actual suspect, that he has confirmed that he has admitted that he's not the one that did it, and authorities claim that the suspect is still at large. And even worse news, it's now actually being reported that Charlie Kirk passed away. Unfortunately, the father of two has passed away and has left his children behind and his widow. And this is truly horrible, man. To think about, this man is close to my age. He's still a very young person. And just like him, I have kids. I could only imagine how these kids are going to grow up in this world. And it's truly disturbing and scary to think that just because he has an opinion, even if it's not an opinion I agree with, I still think that our opinion should be protected. And I don't think that we should be harmed, especially not when it's not something that's truly harming people. It's just his opinion. And now, sadly, he has passed away at the age of 31. Seriously tragic news. This is horrible. One thing that I wanted to mention is that recently we've been seeing all this Epstein files and all the Epstein situation and all the drama with that. And a lot of Americans are fed up with that situation. And I'm one of them. I'm truly angered by the fact that they refused to tell us the truth and they protected this entire situation. And some of you might have known that just a few days ago, documents were released and a bunch of letters were released. One of those letters being a letter that apparently Trump sent to Epstein. And that was the letter that a few months ago I covered and people were refusing to believe it's true. But the letter has now been leaked and you can see that it clearly does have Trump's famous signature right there on the picture, letting you know that it was truly most likely Trump that sent this. Let's be honest, he definitely sent this letter to Epstein. There was a lot of images and stuff that were leaked that prove these billionaire elites knew that Epstein was into them young and they were okay with it. They participated in it and allowed this man to do this evil because they were involved in it too. And all the evidence seemed to suggest that Trump was also a part of that group that knew about Epstein's crimes, but protected him and most likely involved in them too. I know that most people are saying that this might have nothing to do with Charlie Kirk, but I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And I do find it strange that as these files were leaked and people were once again ramping up their conversations about Epstein and, asking Trump to tell us the truth, Charlie Kirk, someone that's closely involved with Trump, someone that has earned himself a reputation for getting people to vote for Trump, he is now targeted and attacked and lost his life. To me, it kind of seems suspicious, especially like I said, when he said the word violence, that's when the shots rang off. This just so happens to happen a few days after this big leak that proves that a lot of these politicians, including Trump, was involved with this. Now we know how this country works. We know that most of this stuff is all scripted. We know that most of this stuff is done for the masses to keep them in this story. Obviously, Charlie did lose his life. It's a tragedy, but I do think that there could be a connection there. And honestly, I might be making a Patreon exclusive on this as soon as I can. I'm going to look in deeper. I'm going to see what I can find, and I'm going to let you guys know. My condolences goes to Charlie Kirk's family. I truly feel bad for them, and I can't even imagine what his wife is going through. And I truly feel horrible for his children. I couldn't imagine growing up without my father, especially they're going to know what happened to their dad. It's you can't avoid those kids from knowing this. They're going to eventually find out because it happened in public view and there's actual videos of this unedited videos of this on Twitter circulating right now, which is, it's so disturbing that we're willing to do this to people, show something like this. Like, people should have kept those videos to themselves. It didn't need to spread online, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, it's being reported that Charlie Kirk is dead at the age of 31 after this shooting incident that happened. My condolences to the family. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, and I'll see you guys in the next one.